Welcome. In this section I want to talk about the starting your own business information kit, which includes a checklist. It's part of the resources that are available through the Department of Trade and Economic Development. Certainly resources are worthwhile looking into. It's a whole series of single page sheets or doubled up sheets for just giving you some individual facts. Most of what's in here is being covered in our series of videos, so I will only be very quickly going over the checklist that's in the back of this kit. And it's even if you've been in business for a while and just happen to come into being in business, that it can be a good tool to use for just to see maybe what you should have been looking at and to check that you are looking at these different areas. Like I say, a lot of this is covered in our through our series of videos, so I will be going through this very quickly. And I apologise for having to read off of the sheet, but trying to keep it in format of what the context of how the fact sheets are set up. I'm keeping in line with what they've got here for you. Firstly, why are you going into business? Being very, very clear of why you're going into business. The checklist here, we're looking at things like, are you the right type of person to actually go into business? There's a lot of people we see who really don't realise what's required, that it doesn't fit into their lifestyle. It's just it's not a 9-to-5 situation. So there's a lot more involved in going into business than just getting an ABN and away you go. However, that is as simple as it can be if you're prepared to take a risk. But to be successful and reduce your chances of having difficulty in business, certainly these are things to consider. Do you understand the type of business you're properly going into? Have you got the funds? Can you afford to go into business? Certainly having backup funding is important. Have you got the support of your family and friends in going into business, or are you going to be basically doing this on your own? Mind you, you're never on your own because we are always there to support. However, in your life surroundings, your family, your friends play a big part. You need to make sure you've got their support and they understand what it is you're trying to do. Have you had the training or the experience to be able to go into business, to move on from maybe a management position and to go into working for yourself? Well, that's certainly an area that training is also always worthwhile looking into. The next section we start looking at market research. Now, a very, very important area of the in thinking of going into business, but just the feasibility, doing a feasibility study, understanding the product or services that you're going to be selling, where they fit in the market. Is there the market for it? Who your competitors are, and are you going to be able to access the staffing you're going to be required as easy as you possibly can? Skills shortages these days, it makes it an interesting prospect. Are you doing a full business plan? Business plans are important in whatever format you find you're going to use the best. Now, once again, with our videos, we'll go into that further. Legal structure, whether a sole trader, partnership, company or trust. Just as a start, what type of structure you're going to be working under. The implications of going into those various types of arrangements, which is going to be best for you. The physical requirements of the business. Is it with your location, where it's going to be located, the space you're going to require, because you have to take into consideration growth. The services that are available to that premises, whether it's the electricity, water, telephone, broadband capabilities, all those sort of things you need to take into consideration. Major equipment, are you going to be looking at purchasing and leasing them, going into hire purchase or some other financial arrangement as far as the major things go. Support equipment, just your telephone, fax, machines, computers, office equipment. How much of that are you going to require? Do you require a motor vehicle? What kind of motor vehicle? And what's going to be most suited for the business? Stock and goods, stationery, all those types of things you need to take into consideration what you're going to be needing and have the funds to be able to do so. And consumables, what types of things are going to be other consumables, especially in manufacturing, whether you're making allowances for consumables within your costings and your purchases. Planning your funding needs, whether have you got looked at cash flow forecasts, profit projections. Have you got the capital yourself? Are you needing to go to a bank or a similar body for some funds? Do you have all the information down that they require? Trust particular industry requirements. Do you have to have particular types of insurances, labelling, whether you need contracts, whether you need various licenses, whether you need to be involved with various professional associations. Those are things that need to be considered. Marketing it overall itself, what sort of, have you identified the advantages that you have above your competitors, your target market needs, advertising, what's the best way to advertise to your client base? Have you got your pricing policy down right? What's the break-even analysis? And where can you make adjustments within your pricing? Staffing. It's what are the working hours going to be? What are you going to be paying them? What are the award requirements? All these sort of things that need to be considered as going through before you get yourself up and running. That's if you're looking at employing people straight away. In a lot of business scenarios, you are needing to, or will need to fairly soon after starting. What kind of insurances do you require? Professional indemnity, public liability, superannuation, workers' compensation, product liability. Are there government requirements that you need to take into consideration to do with zoning for locally, health and environmental regulations? Very, very important issues. Business licenses through licensing registrations, whether it's once again through a body or whether it's through the government aspect, what licenses you need. Business name, Australian business number, tax file number, fringe benefits tax, GST, all these sort of things we need to be registering for. How are you going to keep your records and your accounting? Are you going to have an accounting system? Are you going to be hiring someone to be looking at doing that for you, a bookkeeper? Are you capable of doing it yourself? Have you got a partner who can do that? Whether it's going into and starting an existing business, starting a business straight off is the right way to go. Should you be looking at purchasing a business, or maybe a franchise might be the better option. Looking at all the various avenues that you can go down. Have you investigated all the other resources that are available out to you with the state and territory advisory services, including the business enterprise centres? You've got accountants, you've got solicitors. There's various courses you can go through, whether they be in a workshop form or a certificate level in like certificate for in business. Certainly worthwhile considering going into. Just finally, do you really understand the things that could go wrong and what's going to cause those things that could go wrong? Could it be being undercapitalised, too much debt, inadequate cash flow, poor bookkeeping, poor management skills? All very, very important. Now, I hope I haven't scared you off, because these are things you need to understand and get on top of. You can do that quite simply. It seems scary, but having a good look at the business you're going through and yourself and how it's going to impact on yourself, utilise the resources that are available to you, predominantly through us at the BEC, or through, and we will direct you if there are other areas of being able to resource materials. So I'd certainly recommend that you take the time. There's a lot you need to be doing to make sure you're going to do it right, but it is a process that isn't overly cumbersome if you look at it and break it down to what is required for your business. Not all businesses are going to have the same issues, so come along and see us. John and myself are very happy to be able to spend some time with you, look at what your new venture may be, and support you through that process of getting up and running. So look at the other videos that we have on, which are more go in more details, and we'll see you in a few of those. Bye.